ELI language games. Play and learn. This is a series of video tutorials on ELI games. In this video, we're going to present some examples of vocabulary and structures. Each game is available in 5 languages: English, French, German, Spanish and Italian. The games have different characteristics and can be divided into 4 categories: dominoes, bingos, card games, board games. Let's start with dominoes. Time for dominoes. A1 level, a variation of the traditional dominoes game. The language goals are learning how to read the time on a clock and practicing the structures needed to ask and tell the time. The box contains 48 domino cards, each showing a clock face and a written time. There are 2 special cards to start the game and close the domino sequence. Shuffle the cards and deal them out to the players. The player with the midday or midnight starting cards starts the game, placing it on the table. Play proceeds with the next player to the right, who plays a connecting card if he or she has one. When a card is played, everyone asks, "What time is it?" and the player has to reply by telling the right time. The following player has no connecting card, so he or she must pass, declaring, "Pass." The game continues in this way, going in an anti-clockwise direction. The first player to use up all of his or her cards is the winner. Apart from this basic game, Time for Dominoes offers no less than 6 other different games to play. These are presented in the accompanying game booklet. The instructions for games are extremely simple to follow and are freely available to download from our website too. Now we move on to a game in the bingo category. My Shopping List. A1 to A2 level. The aim of the game is to learn, revise and use vocabulary and language structures related to shopping. This is done in class through a very stimulating activity, buying and selling. The box contains a pack of 66 labelled photo cards with pictures of food, beverages and their ingredients, 36 double-sided sheets, bingo side and shopping list side. My Shopping List is in fact 2 games in one, bingo and the shopping list game. The language goal of bingo is the acquisition and practice of vocabulary related to shopping. Players are given the same number of bingo sheets, which are placed on the table. The teacher shuffles the deck of cards and chooses 1 card at a time out of the pack. The game can be played with lower level pupils by showing the image and saying the name of the item, or with higher level players pronouncing the item without showing the photo. Players cover, with their tokens, the images of the chosen items on their play sheets. The winner is the player who covers all of his or her squares first. The shopping list focuses on language structures and expressions related to buying and selling. Distribute to each player a shopping list and all the playing cards. The youngest player starts the game as a buyer by asking any playmate whether he or she has an ingredient on their shopping list. For example, "Do you have any eggs?" If this is the case, the seller replies, "Yes, I have eggs," and hands over the card to the buyer, who thanks him. The buyer can now go on with another question, this time to a different seller. "Do you have milk?" If the seller has no milk, he or she must reply, "I'm sorry, I do not." The seller then takes the buyer's role and starts asking for items on his or her shopping list. Remember, an item can be requested and change hands several times. Once obtained, it must be handed over if another player asks for it. The winner is the first player to obtain all the items on his or her shopping list. The game instructions are very simple and are freely available to download from our website too. But that's not all. My shopping list offers much more. With the instructions booklet come many other interesting activities. What are you waiting for? Let's go shopping! Next, a card game. Who is Who? A2 level. It's a game of deduction and investigation, ideal for learning vocabulary and structures related to the physical description of people and for developing logical thinking. The box contains 66 cards, divided into 2 identical but differently coloured decks. The cards represent various characters, all with specific physical elements. Some faces are similar, but differ in details. The cards from the red deck are spread out on the table, picture side up. The green card deck is put on the table and is accessible to all players. Who is Who has 2 variants for individual play and for team play. In individual game 1, player picks up a card from the green deck without showing the other players. This is the mysterious character that your playing partners have to discover. In turn, the players ask questions about the physical aspects of the character on the other player's card. Answers must only be yes or no. Let's try. A player picks up the card Cindy. The other player asks questions. Is it a woman? Yes. Does she have short hair? No. If the answer is negative, the first player stops asking questions and it's the next player's turn to investigate. The answers obtained allow the player to narrow down the possibilities and get close enough to the solution to formulate a guess. Is she blonde? No. Does she wear glasses? Yes. It's Cindy. By guessing correctly the identity of the secret character, the player earns that character's card. Play continues until all the green cards are in use. The player guessing the most characters and collecting the most cards is the winner. In the team play variant, teachers can set a time limit to make a guess or set a limit to the number of questions available to each team. The game instructions are very simple and are freely available to download from our website too. Who is Who offers other great ideas for class activities. Are you ready to discover the mysterious character? Let's move on now to a board game, Sentence Maker, A2 to B1 level. This game enhances the practice of verb tenses, time expressions and vocabulary through the continuous process of sentence creation. The box contains a board with 66 spaces, each showing a verb in the infinitive form, 66 cards with time expressions and indication of point value, players' markers and 3 dice, a 6-sided number die, a die with personal pronouns, a die with different sentence forms and 2 joker sides. The game is played in teams. The board is set and each team selects its marker. Let's see an example of how the game is played. The first team rolls the numbered die, makes a 3, and then moves the assigned marker to the verb space on the board. A member of the team picks a card randomly from the time expression deck. It's a 5-point card. A member of the opposing team rolls the personal pronouns die, while another rolls the sentence forms die. Now the team has all the required elements to formulate a sentence. Remember, it must have a clear meaning. In the summer, we do not look for a coat. If the team formulates a correct sentence, it earns the points on the card, and the card is placed at the bottom of the pack. The game ends when a team reaches the camp. The winning team will be the one with the highest final score. The teacher's booklet, also downloadable from the website, contains the game rules and suggestions of different other ways to play. ELI Games. The more you play, the more you learn.